Step out for me. I'm Detective Jesus. I'm the one who's been investigating the crash.
Wait. Okay. Get up. Please don't. Please don't.
Get him up.
Get up right now. Drop him on the floor. I'll help him out. Get up. Oh, no. No, I can't. I can't let this, okay?
It's back on.
Wait, it wasn't.
It all began on a quiet road just before sunset. Three friends were in a car, one driving, two riding along. Within seconds, two of them never make it home. What looked like a tragic car crash soon turned into one of the most shocking court cases seen. The driver, a teenage girl, seemed calm and sure, just an act. But as the investigation went on, the evidence told a darker story. When the trial began, every detail was revealed step by step. One video changed everything, showing what really happened that morning. This is the story of 17-year-old Mackenzie Shirilla from Strongsville, Ohio. She was known as a friendly, outgoing teen who loved music, friends, and social media, but prosecutors later said there was more beneath the surface: anger, jealousy, and control that led to disaster. Her boyfriend, Dominic Roos, 20, they looked like a happy couple, but people close to them saw arc drama, growing tension. Also in the car that was Devon Flanagan, Dominic's friend, just in the wrong place, the wrong time. It was July 31st, 2022. The three had been out all night, unaware that tragedy was only hours away. Around 5:30 a.m., Mackenzie's Toyota Camry sped down Progress Drive in Strongsville. Security cameras caught the car racing through the air. Data from the car's black box later revealed the gas fully pressed for several seconds before the crash, hitting speeds close to 100 mph. There were no signs of braking, trying to steer away. The car slammed straight into a brick building. The crash killed Dominic and Devon instantly. Mackenzie was found unconscious but alive, and soon the mystery of what really happened began to unfold. Body cam footage showed first responders rushing to reach the victims inside the wrecked car. Both passengers were pronounced dead at the scene. Mackenzie was pulled from the driver's seat and taken to the hospital with serious injury. Police closed off Progress Drive while investigators examined the crash, collected debris, pieced together what had happened. Every detail was documented carefully to understand final moments before impact. From that moment, the full investigation began, and it wouldn't take long before shocking discovery came to light.
You get
Oh my God. Who can hear my voice? Who's in here? Drivers, come. Radio.
I copy.
Radio, they're gonna get straight, all three. Come here. Call him the plate. Let him call it in.
Alright.
Radio. Oh shit, man.
Hey! Eesh. Not good. Let me see your knife. Let's cut this thing out.
This is bad, guys. She's alive. We gotta get her out here.
Alright.
Reach up and unlock this door.
Hold on, watch your
Copy. Fired when they had a leak.
there you go.
Within hours, the Strongsville Police Department launched a full investigation. They examined everything: the damaged car, the road conditions, and digital data, Mackenzie's phone, and the car's black. What they found was alarming. The car's system showed that Mackenzie driven at dangerously high speeds on that same stretch of road several times days before crash. Meanwhile, at Metro Health Medical, doctors fought to keep her alive. Mackenzie suffered serious injury, but eventually regained consciousness. Soon after, her statements about what happened began to raise questions and contradictions that would change the entire direction of the case.
Where's she?
back there, pal.
Hi, Mackenzie. Step out for me. I'm Detective Jesus. I'm the one who's been investigating the crash. You're under arrest for aggravated times 2, okay? Nobody's gonna ask you any questions. Nobody's gonna bother you. Can I have your key, please?
Could you please be careful taking this one off so it doesn't break the bracelet, please?
You got it. You got it.
Do you want my glass?
No.
Thank you.
You got it. Okay, just keep your hands right here. I'm not gonna tighten these, okay? We don't want to hurt you. You good? Are they good? Thank you. All right. This cruiser right here.
Actually, he took her out of the car and we did not.
Okay.
Do you have anything on your pockets, anything like that?
We're in pockets, but we're just gonna...
That's your head going in.
The words Mackenzie spoke just hours after the crash completely conflict with what she would later tell the court a year later. Those statements recorded by Dr. Esther Singh, the trauma surgeon who treated her, became one of the most important pieces of evidence in the entire case. A few days after being released from the hospital, detectives arrived at her home. They informed Mackenzie she was being arrested for aggravated murder, was handcuffed, placed under arrest, and taken into custody, marking the start of a legal battle that would shock everyone who followed Kate.
And that she could never do something like this. And they continually, despite the verdict, refer to this as an accident, and an unfortunate accident, and tell you that she is also a victim. There are just a few things that I think is important for the court to consider in determining a sentence today. Part of the evidence in this case and introduced in trial was evidence from the defendant's cell phone. There were search warrants executed on her various social media accounts, her school records, her medical records, things of this nature.
I'm not even cool. I'm just one of those girls that can do a lot of drugs and not die.
Shortly after the crash, Strongsville police were notified that they had received concerning emails from the community that the defendant and her mother were seeking employment with the Los Angeles modeling agency. Kenzie Shirilla said to Vitali, "Thank you for the comment. I would love to work with you guys. I've been emailing you guys a lot. Such a great opportunity. Thank you."
Is there a date?
There is not a date on this, Your Honor. Based on the investigation, it was delivered to the police while the defendant was still in the Metro Health Hospital. So it was during that time period. She was in the hospital for several weeks. Shortly after being released from the hospital, the police were provided additional videos of the defendant from her wheelchair as she attended a concert down in the Flats. And again, Your Honor, I'm introducing these to the court to show the shocking lack of remorse. This was something that was being exhibited while the investigation was still going on, before she was charged and arrested in November of last year. And these were the sort of things that were coming to the police, and the shocking lack of remorse, coupled with the fact that the defendant was reported driving an automobile shortly after this event, that she was seen in Strongsville again driving a car. In spite of the fact that, as her mother testified, she got dizzy sometimes from a condition that she had to take salt pills for, in spite of the fact that it was, in fact, her mother who provided her with the car that she used to take Dominic and Davion's life. Halloween of last year, again, still before being charged, Mackenzie Shirilla celebrated Halloween with her friends at These aren't Halloween of last year, so these would be post-crash, just before she was charged in November. We think the defendant has shown a shocking lack of remorse, Your Honor. We think that she has continually put forward that this was an accident in spite of the fact that the evidence is in direct contradiction. Your Honor, you were on Progress Drive. You saw the evidence that was displayed in court. And Your Honor, we think that you are the person who is in the best position to decide an appropriate sentence. We have full confidence in the sentence that you'll give, Your Honor. Thank you.
When the trial began in the Cuyahoga County Common Court, the prosecution presented its case as Assistant Prosecutor Michael Abaugiayu stated that the crash on July 31, 20 was not an accident or a moment teenage wreck. It was an intentional. According to the state, Mackenzie Shirilla deliberately drove her car into a brick building, killing Dominic Russo and Davon Flanagan. The prosecution's theory focused on intent, speed, route, and the complete lack of brake impact. They claimed her actions were premeditated, driven by anger and the breakdown of her relationship. Dominic. Evidence shown in court included data from her car, video, text messages, and social media activity covered from Mackenzie's phone. Investigators revealed TikTok clips where she was seen driving at dangerous speed, taking risks. Prosecutors also pointed out that shortly after the crash and while still hospitalized, Mackenzie and her mother contacted a modeling agent in Los Angeles. They argued showed a disturbing lack of remorse for the deaths of her boyfriend. The state even presented footage of Mackenzie attending a concert and a Halloween event before her arrest. Moments they said revealed how detached and unapologetic she seemed in the aftermath of the tragedy.
Your Honor, may it please the court. First of all, I'd like to extend my condolences to the Russo and Flanagan family. I can't imagine how difficult this is. It's terrible. People's acts have consequences, and the consequences here are up to you. You have a range of possibilities as it relates to a girl who was 17 at the time, who is now 19 years old and has no criminal record. And as you so correctly pointed out in the opening, the decision when she gets out is up to the parole board. And we know how the parole board operates, and we know that everybody gets flopped at least once. So a 15-year sentence becomes a 20-year sentence at minimum, and it'll be up to this young lady here as to how she's going to conduct herself for the next 20 years or whatever the sentence would be. That would be number one. Second of all, I'd like to say thank you so much for allowing and taking the time to read those letters. And I would like to concentrate on the letters from the people from juvenile court. First of all, Miss Smith and Miss Kent. They have been the people who have monitored her progress since she was entered the juvenile detention facility, where she was for about 9 months. And I would like to commend them for writing these letters, because ultimately, or initially, I tried to have them send a letter and the people at juvenile court wouldn't let them. And so they sent these letters anyways. And what do we see from their letters? We actually see where both of them say that she expressed remorse during the time. What the prosecutor played there was after the accident and way before she was ever incarcerated. They also both say that they have observed her grow as a person, that she's taken every single class possible, both culinary and college, that she's actually been a model inmate, the letters say, and that she has exhibited what they call the highest level of behavior. They grade people 1, 2, 3, 4. The better your behavior, the higher the number. She has always received the highest number.
Prosecutor Michael Ali ended his argument by stating that Mackenzie Shirilla made a deliberate and conscious choice that morning, one that ended the lives of 2 young men. When it was the defense's, their tone was calm motion. Attorney James M.C. Donnell reminded the court that Mackenzie was only 17 years old at the time of the crash and had no prior criminal record. He described her as a heartbroken teenager who lost 2 people she deeply cared about, insisting the crash was a tragic accident, not an accident. The defense highlighted Mackenzie's severe head trauma and memory loss following the collision. They argue her hospital statements, which the prosecution used as key evidence, were made pain, medicated, and confused, and therefore couldn't be considered reliable. MEC Donnell also read letters from juvenile detention staff who described Mackenzie as a model inmate, respectful, cooperative, and genuinely remorseful. He presented these letters as proof that she was seeking rehabilitation and had shown sincere regret for what happened. Finally, the defense stressed that Mackenzie and her family never believed she committed murder. They saw the crash as a devastating act, one that nearly took Mackenzie's life. Well,
I want to say to the families that I'm broken sad and lost, and my heart hurts for everyone, okay? Davion was her new friend, and Dom was the love of her life, and he was part of our family, okay? I'm just so sorry that this happened, and we're heartbroken, okay? And then, Your Honor, this was a terrible, tragic nightmare accident to have happened that she has no memory of, and she will never emotionally or physically recover from it. She almost died too, and we're asking that you please not run the sentence as consecutive. He was family, and we all loved each other. That morning of the accident, she called, I got a phone call that there was a car accident, okay? So we went to the hospital, and I didn't even know who was in the car. The names had not been confirmed yet. And I'm gonna cry because I missed Dom so much. We loved him so much. So I called Dom, like over and over again, praying that he was gonna answer the phone, and he didn't answer the phone. So then I tried to call his mom, and she didn't answer the phone either. And I still didn't know who was in the car. I didn't even know if she was alive. I didn't know what was happening. So then we were in the waiting room. And then his mom she did call me, so I answered the phone, and I was like, oh my God, like, I don't even know who was in the car, like, what's happening? Was that Dom? And she said, what do you mean? My son is dead. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And then she said something like, and now I have to wait until your kid's out of the hospital. And then I didn't hear the rest. I was like, we loved him so much, and I hung up the phone. I did not talk about social media. I didn't even know what was going on yet, okay? So then, that was it. So in the hospital, that Vitality post, I commented on that because somebody had called her a okay? And she's not, so she didn't even have her phone at that point because the police had still had it, okay? So I jumped on, and I was like, you know, she's not a murderer. She's more sad than most of these people commenting. She's been trying to get in touch with you. I mean, at that point, it was just an accident. So I commented on her behalf, not because of the modeling opportunity. Who cares about that? I don't want them to refer to her as a murderer, okay? And I don't even know how that commented got on the phone because the police still had her device, and she could not access her phone or social media. That's why I did it. And I had called them asking if they could shut down social media because people were calling her a murderer and making death threats and organizing groups to, you know, take her out when she got out of the hospital and stuff. So I didn't even want her phone. I don't care about her phone. I don't care about social media. I just wanted them to stop calling her a murderer so that when she did come to, and she did come out of surgery, multiple surgeries, that she wouldn't see all these people calling her a murderer because she would never, ever, ever the love of her life, okay? Halloween, for 3 months after the accident, she would only wear his clothes. She would only eat the snacks he ate. She would only listen to the music he wrote, okay? She was laying in bed for 3 months crying. There was a shrine of him next to her with photos and things that he liked and this flower that lights up that he got her because he wanted it to be fresh and alive forever. It's like a little Beauty and the Beast flower. Okay, she's got this shrine of him next to her. So she was crying for 3 months. So her friends asked if she wanted to go out trick-or-treating or Halloween, and it was at OU. And she didn't even want to go. She said, I don't know, should I go? She couldn't even walk yet, barely. So I told her, I said, baby, please go. It's Halloween. You've been laying for 3 months crying, only listening to his music. Please go have just a moment of fun, a moment of fun. So we told her to go. My husband drove her. I brought her back home. She just needed a second of fun from losing her whole world, So that was us. We told her to go. And that concert she went to with Dom's cousin, Abby, they picked her up. They brought her there. That was Dom, Mackenzie and Dom and Abby all decided to go to this concert together while they were in the hospital. That was for Dom. Everything she did after the accident was either in honor of him, to be close to him, or just to be by him any way that she can. She's like devastated and tragic. He was the air that she breathes, okay? And they went with his cousin. We spent all kinds of time with him after the accident. What was the other thing? Dominic, okay? I'm asking you for leniency because this was a tragic accident that she does not remember. And Davion, he's a new friend. And I'm so sorry.
What does that mean? His life is worthless?
No. God, no, not at all. they all loved each other. They all spent every day together. You know what I mean? I don't know too much for him.
Isn't that part of the problem, Mrs. Shirilla?
Sorry?
Isn't that part of the problem, that they all trusted each other? Isn't that part of...
It's not a problem at all. It was wonderful.
It's a problem how they all ended up in the car together and two women.
Mackenzie's mother, Natalie Shirilla, gave an emotional statement in court describing how her daughter completely broke down. She told the judge that Mackenzie spent months bedridden, surrounded by photos and memories of Dominic Russo, the boyfriend lost. Natalie explained that the concert and Halloween event shown by the prosecution were not signs of indifference but small steps, and her husband encouraged Mackenzie to take attempts to help her rejoin the world after months of deep isolation. She also shared that Mackenzie had no memory of the crash and continued to struggle both physically and emotionally, trying to come to terms with the tragedy and her role.
Well, really now I'm going to give you my observations, because I understand what you talked with Mackenzie's mother about acceptance of responsibility, etc. All I can tell you is that from the moment I met this young lady here, she expressed sorrow. And I would say during the course of this trial, in the initial emails and statements, she said, "I'm sorry for what you did." The prosecutor has said that she hasn't accepted responsibility. Well, as you remember, during the course of this trial, our defense was that it was a reckless homicide. That's taking responsibility for what she believes happened. So I would respectfully disagree with that. I've seen her express true remorse in the times that I met her in jail, and I don't think it's self-serving. And I'm going to say, as an officer of the court, that I feel very confident saying that she has expressed true remorse. So ultimately, another thing that you have to ask for is the likelihood of recidivism, etc. Based upon all of those things, I respectfully request that you run the sentences concurrently. Thank you.
Attorney James McDonnell ended his argument by asking the court to allow Mackenzie's sentence to run concurrent rather than consecutive. He reminded the judge that the parole board would ultimately determine when she could be released and urged the court consider her young age, genuine remorse, and clean record before deciding her fate. He emphasized that Mackenzie had shown regret from the very beginning and was not trying to escape responsibility. However, he said she believed she was guilty of reckless homicide, not murder, and that her acts, while tragic, were never fueled by intent to kill. After both sides presented a case, the evidence, digital forensic, and testimonial complete. The crash data, surveillance footage, and recorded statements all pointed in the same direction. It was now up to the judge to interpret what those facts truly meant. When the court reconvened, Judge Nancy Margaret Russo delivered her verdict. She carefully reviewed every piece of evidence, the crash wreck, video footage, and witness test. Her conclusion, firm and unmistakable: the act was intentional. The judge explained that the steady acceleration, the total lack of brake, and the precise route taken proved Mackenzie had full control of the car up until impact. The court found Mackenzie Shirilla guilty on all counts, including 2 charges of murder, Ohio Revised Code 903.02. She was sentenced to 2 concurrent life terms, with the possibility of parole after 15 years, the maximum sentence allowed for someone her age. And just like that, what began as a horrific crash ended with a convict verdict grounded entirely in evidence, not speculation.
It's literally changed history, because it's ended 2 lives. 2 young men are dead. Their deaths were horrible, terrifying, and tragic. I will say again, if any reasonable person reviews Exhibit 802, there can be no doubt in your mind. There can be no doubt of the absolute terror of the 2 people in that car. The defendant controlled all the events. She chose the day. Specifically, she chose a date just before her 18th birthday. She chose to drive the car, the time to drive the car. She chose an obscure, previously scouted route through an industrial parkway. She chose the target to hit and the victims. She chose the means and the method to follow through. And she planned and purposefully executed the events of July 31st, 2022. The review of the evidence supports the factual findings, the forensic testimony of the first responders, the testimony of the emergency room doctors who treated the defendant, the testimony of the coroner's medical examiner, the testimony of those who knew the victims and the defendant, and the testimony of the BMV official who provided evidence that not only did the defendant deny any medical condition when applying for her license, which her mother co-signed and attested to, but also that just after the accident, Mackenzie renewed her driver's license and again denied any medical condition. In fact, the defendant was so concerned about driving that, as the state mentioned, during the investigation, she asked if they could just suspend her license for 10 years. It is hard to fathom how a person could be concerned about their driving privileges, having just been responsible for the deaths of 2 people. There was no medical condition that caused this as an accident. There was no mechanical failure of the car. The record is clear on the facts and the evidence. Her mother's uncorroborated statements without any medical testimony or records is not persuasive. It is also important to remember that even if Mackenzie intended to also die in this crash, that is irrelevant. A failed suicide attempt is not a defense to murder. And even in a murder-suicide attempt, when the perpetrator executing the plan survives, the other death or deaths are still. There's only one person who's responsible for the pain of everyone in this room, and that person is you, Mackenzie. Nobody else is responsible. This isn't the fault of Dominic's family, Davion's family. And I know that each of you have asked your questions to yourselves, what if? What if I had done this or that? The truth of it is, none of us can control the intentions of another. And when there is a purposeful intent to harm or kill someone, I have to weigh the punishment. There's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison. That won't be up to me. That will be up to the parole board, and that will be up to you to a great extent. I understand that the pain in this room wants me to impose the harshest sentence, but I don't believe that would be the appropriate sentence, because I do believe that Mackenzie will not be out in 15 years. So she's sentenced on count 2 of Davion Flanagan, 15 years to life. She's sentenced on count 1 of Dominic Russo, 15 years to life, to be served concurrent to each other with credit for time served. I'll waive fines, fees, and costs, and your appellate counsel will be assigned. Are there any questions from the state?
This case serves as a powerful reminder that intent isn't always verbalized. It can be captured in data established in court and etched into out. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Mr. Owl and hit that like button for more authentic courtroom tales and updates on active cases.
OnlyFans model Courtney Clenney back in court today. Her attorneys playing dramatic video to prove she acted in self-defense in the stabbing death of her boyfriend.
Second, she sits frozen in a Miami court, her hair now dark, her hands clasped tight, her gaze buried in the floor. For almost 3 years, she's been confined, waiting limbo. No trial, no verdict, only silence. Once seen as the victim, the grieving girlfriend who endured abuse, her story collapsed overnight. One video changed everything. When it went public, the truth unraveled, and the world realized it never really knew at all.
You know, like I was sober for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 2 weeks. And now why am I not sober? Because of you. You did. I didn't say nothing. You said I did. You were leaning. Yo, you were dumb as.
Suddenly, her claim of self-defense no longer felt like protect, it felt like performance. The woman who built an empire on confidence, beauty, and power now stood accused of something chilling. The cold-blooded murder of the man she once called her soul. Courtney Clenney, known online, Courtney Taylor, wasn't just another influencer. She embodied the digital fantasy, luxury high, designer label, private jet, and millions who idolize every. Her boyfriend, Christian Toby Obi Mseli, was meant to be her grounding force, calm to her chaos, patience to her fire. A sharp, determined cryptocurrency trader, Nigerian-born and Texas-raised, Christian believed love could tame volatility, but beneath the surface of their glamorous life, something dangerous growing. The neighbors were the first to note the shout, thud, the sound of furniture crashing against. It didn't happen daily, but when it did, it felt like a storm raging behind glass. At first, no one knew where to point fingers. Courtney seemed in control, elegant, fragile, and easy to sympathize. Christian was tall, strong, and visibly tense. To outside, the story wrote itself, and that's where the truth began to walk. Because in private, the reality was much darker. Those close to them described Courtney's anger as explosive, screamed, threw up, and lashed out, pushed too far. Christian, refusing to be the aggressive, often took the blows silent. He'd retreat, try to de-escalate, even apologize just to end the madness. By mid-2021, their relationship fraying beyond repair. On a trip to Las Vegas, police were called to their hotel after another violent confrontation. Bodycam footage captured Courtney being arrested for domestic battery, accused of throwing a glass at Christian's face. His injuries were minor, but his expression said everything. Behind the scratches and bruises was a man worn down by love, turned toxic.
So, Chris, why am I here today? Tell me what's going on.
We're having a great day. We went to the pool. And we were supposed to go to dinner like at 8:30. I was asleep. I wake up at 5. In the morning on the couch, he asks me to go to the bed 3 times, which I did. And he called security. For some reason, there's no reason to be here at all.
So obviously you're here because she called security. What were you guys arguing about?
Started what's called, she asked me to go to bed. She's like, "Do you hate me?" I was like, "No, I don't hate you, babe. It's just like disappointed that like we didn't do anything.
Even as officers questioned, Christian pleaded not to press charge. He insisted it wasn't serious, that he loved, that she didn't deserve trouble. It was a heartbreaking glimpse into his loyalty and his denial. When police asked, did anybody punch, hit, spit, throw anything at each other, he hesitated before quietly admitted she threw a glass.
Did anybody punch, hit, spit, throw anything at each other?
The glass thing and on my face.
Things got blown out of proportion, like to
Like
the max. We were going back and forth, like getting really loud. And I decided to call because we were getting really loud. It wasn't because I was scared or anything. It wouldn't hurt me. But I felt that we were either going to get kicked out or wake people up or something because it was just like escalating.
Okay.
And I thought it was going to disturb everybody, so I felt the need to have him removed from the room.
Did you throw something?
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
Did anybody throw anything?
No.
What triggered her to throw in the glass at you?
I think it's my tone. Like, she tells me to work on a couple things, like my tone, facial expressions.
And after she threw the glass at you, did you punch her, hit her, pull her hair, spit on her, anything like that? So what do you do?
One day I'd be like, babe, stop. I was like, babe, stop it. I just don't want her to get in trouble. I go over so much, you know.
So when I go to the room and I see a broken glass on the floor, where did the glass come from?
I don't know. I literally couldn't even remember how the fight started.
Did you remember throwing the glass?
No, I don't. But that sounds like me. I'm so foggy. I've had hardly any sleep. Like, I'm not like drunk even. I just really like not functioning. Does that make sense?
No, not really. Did you throw a bottle at him or a glass at him? You say you've done it
yes.
before.
Yes. I know that he didn't do it. Because throwing things is my thing.
Okay, once again, do you think you did it or you did it?
I did.
I'm trying to make it as short as I can. I don't want to give you a long speech here, okay? There's a lot of things that we have discretion with, and there's a lot of things that we don't. This is one of them. You guys are in a relationship. She threw a glass at you. The glass is there. She admitted throwing the glass. When that happens, I have to make an arrest. I can't tell the judge. Let me finish. Doesn't have any price for that. I don't think it's going to be any issue. However, the state here puts anyone that is a suspect on battery of domestic violence on a 12-hour hold. I can't let you talk. Hey, no, I don't have to. I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is what the law says I have to do. The investigation shows that you threw a glass at him, and that in the state is considered battery. And since you two are in a relationship, that is considered battery of domestic violence is a mandatory arrest.
Okay, there's a lot that I didn't say because I didn't want him to get in trouble.
Okay.
Like, probably him pushing me down.
Anything else that you tell me, I'll be happy to put it on the report. But at this point, you're going to be transported, okay?
May I at least
The charges were quietly dropped, the incident brushed aside as if it never happened. But that night was more than just another fight warning. A red flag no one truly saw because when the couple moved to Miami just months later, the same storm followed. Only this time, it wouldn't end in bruise or apology. It would end in blood. Before the world knew her name, before the viral headlines and court camera, there was one moment, a single piece of footage that would shatter everything. Prosecutors would later call it the moment the mask slipped. And it didn't happen during an interrogation or in front of a judge. It happened inside an elevator. Security footage from the One Paraiso Tower showed Courtney repeatedly striking Chris tries to shield himself. He never hits back. He just stands there, absorbing the blow, waiting for the fury to pass or anyone motive. Months later, when prosecutors released that video, it erased any lingering doubt about who had been the aggressor all along. Until then, the world outside their luxury apartment had no clue what was happening behind the glass wall. On social media, they were the perfect couple, radiant, young, success. Her feed sparkled with beachside photos and champagne smiles. His posts radiated confidence and ambition. Together, they looked like the kind of love story the internet built work. But inside apartment 220, the fantasy was crumbling. Courtney's meteoric rise on OnlyFans had made her wealthy overnight, but with that wealth came control and chaos. She drank more, partied harder, and became increasingly suspicious of Christian's every move. She accused him of cheating, of manipulating, trying to stifle her freedom. In one desperate text, Christian, I can't win with. If I stay, I'm miserable. If I go, still stay. Because that's what happens when love turns poisonous. start believing. Just try harder, speak softer, love better, stop. But it never does. Then came the record. Quiet, desperate acts of self-preservation. Christian began secretly documenting their fights, not to expose her, but to protect. The audio on his phone captured truth in raw, unfiltered sound, shouting, insult, fear. Evidence of a love that had transformed into something terrifying.
Hey, let me help you.
You trust. You know damn well the right thing to do is to tell me.
Yes, and I am so sorry.
So shut up and let me slap you, dumb.
You're not gonna slap me.
Give me my phone.
You have your phone.
I don't have it anymore. Find it and charge it.
Why?
Find it and charge it.
I'm sorry, Courtney.
I don't care. Find it and charge it.
Okay, just stop.
Don't talk to me.
God, man.
Yeah, man. Oh, man.
Because I'm telling you, I'm sorry.
It's my heart. Find my phone and charge it. I need to find it because I have to go meet her again.
To go out?
No! Shut up! Please. Shut up. You went to go talk to her without talking.
I didn't go to go.
Yes, you did. You always wanted to.
Courtney, I was on.
He literally told me about it. Now he's like, damn.
What are you
doing? You son.
I didn't go to talk to. I was going on a bike ride. Like, what the?
Get off of me!
Me going to talk to. I'm just gonna make you act like this?
You literally talked to her without telling me!
Courtney, I was on a bike ride and she passed me and I said, hi, you and Courtney are having a live chat. My bad, I forgot to tell you that. That doesn't make you to act and come here.
You're
Yes, thank you. Coming from Jordan, thank you.
I want you to get away from me!
In March 2022, everything was unraveled. Courtney's behavior had become impossible to hide her volatility, spilling out into public. Neighbors saw her drunk and unsteady, wandering the halls barefoot, shouting at Christian in the lobby. Security told the rest of the story. Constant calls from their apartment, sometimes from her, sometimes from him, each accusing the other of chaos. Despite it all, they always found their way back. The apology promised desperate attempts were the cycle repeated over and over. What they had was no longer love, it was dependent. A toxic loop of anger and reconciliation that neither seemed able or willing to escape.
Can you please let me into my apartment? Please?
Okay.
Yes. I haven't.
Excuse me, hold on. What's going on?
Okay.
Where's your apartment? You have a key?
We have
Ma'am, you don't need to talk to me. What's
What
going
are
on?
you lying about?
Where's your key?
I'm in my apartment.
You didn't call.
I didn't. Nobody.
I called. You called.
What?
Okay.
But
What's
on
going on?
him?
Hold on,
Okay.
ma'am. Let him talk. Okay. Ma'am, hold on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The front desk personnel, this young lady, I was actually, with the other guy. She informed us that Miss Courtney, her boyfriend, was trying to get into the elevator with her, but she had her hands out like this. Okay. And she had her hands out like this, and she was like, "Oh no, don't come inside the elevator."
Okay.
So we asked her. I said, "Do you want him to leave the property?" She said no. She don't want him to.
I did not say that. I said yes.
Hold on.
No, but this,
Hold on. He's talking. Then you talk. Let him speak. Let him speak. Nigga, your turn. Nigga, your turn.
We were quiet when you were speaking. Why not?
I said, "Are you certain for sure? Do you want him to leave?" "Oh no." And then I just said, enough is enough. Police need to be called. She said she don't want police to be called.
Okay.
Okay, but you
Time
told me I was
out. Time out. Let me talk. Okay.
I feel very like.
What's your name? Courtney?
Yes.
Okay, Courtney.
Why do you have something against me, man? Like I'm just trying to like. Are you gonna listen?
We're listening. Go
Did you
ahead.
say something wrong?
Yes.
Courtney, what's going on? What do you need? What?
Yeah, go ahead.
My boyfriend. He hasn't been any. I don't care. I'll hold it down. This guy said I shoved her. When I was upstairs when they showed up on my door, I said I shoved her. I said, show me the fucking video. Like, I really got angry because I did not have it. All I did was take my dogs.
All right. So what do you want to say?
I want a restraining order against Christian and Gonzalez.
We don't issue those.
Because,
Those
no,
are
I'm
to
serious.
courts.
Can I do that? Where
You have
can
to
I
go to court. You have to go to
Okay, but
downtown.
how
or
can I
the
make
police
myself first?
Who's on the phone with you?
Just my dad.
Okay. Well, let me
Which I think is
let
reasonable.
me explain to you something with your dad on the phone, so you could hear me. You asked me, how can I get a restraining order against him? I answer you, we don't issue those. That's through court. You asked me, I need to get one before him. I told you, the only way is for you to get to court. Then you asked me, is he on the way already? And I asked you, I don't even know how he looks like. You understand? It's your questions that are making much of an.
I am.
Listen to me. Answer my questions, please.
Does he have property in the room, in the apartment with you? A lot of property, you said. He's been with you here for about 2 months, right? Is he on and off, or is he staying with you?
For 2 months every day.
Staying with you for 2 months here with you? Okay.
Except for last week, he wasn't.
Okay. Let me let you know something. He lives here. That person lives in that apartment with you. Okay. We cannot trespass anybody that lives in this place. So we can by law we cannot do this.
And that's I do understand that was why I said, can I get a restraining order and get there first?
Listen, my answer was I already answered that. You got it. Just go to the court.
Courtney's mother had started pleading with her to come back home to get away from the chaos, but leaving would mean admitting defeat, and Clenney didn't lose, at least not public. Instead of stepping back, she went on the offense. She called police, saying Christian was stalking, that she feared for her life, even asking about restraining to outside. It looked like a scared woman trying to protect, but within days, Christian dead. That call wasn't a plea for help, it was the first draft of her alibi. Then came April 3rd, 2022, a Sunday that began in sunshine and ended in tragedy. Morning light poured through their penthouse window as life seemed almost normal. Courtney posted cheerful video to social media, smiling, sounding up, perfect composed. No one could have guessed before the day was over her boyfriend would be lying in a pool. Christian, meanwhile, seemed lighter than usual. He talked about plans for the future, a trip, clean slate, maybe even moving back to tech. He filmed a short video, joking and lip-syncing to a Kanye West. For one, he looked like a man finally ready to walk away. But leaving Courtney had never been easy. By early afternoon, the two were home eating lunch. Somewhere between a casual text about food and a tense argument over vacation, things began to unravel. Courtney would later say the fight started because Christian turned off his phone's GPS. What began as another petty had quickly turned violent. The argument moved from the couch to the kitchen. Neighbors later recalled hearing screams, crashes, and then Courtney yelling, "Get away from me." Moments later came silence. Then one final cry and nothing. According to prosecutors, that silence lasted 14 minutes between the stabbing and the 911. When Courtney finally called for help, she sounded frantic, sobbing, gasped, claiming her arm was injured and that her boyfriend died. But detectives would later find something chilling. Before dialing 911, Courtney had called her mother first.
Ma'am, listen to me. You need to stop screaming on the line and give me the address.
I can't get my arm.
3101.
I can't feel my arm.
Ma'am.
My boyfriend is dying of a stab.
Ma'am, what is the address?
What's the address? What's the address? 3131 Northeast 7th Ave. Please, God, please. Come see my boyfriend.
Is this a house, apartment, or a business?
Baby, I'm so sorry. Baby.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
When police arrived, they walked into utter chaos. Blood streaked the elevator door, smeared across the hall, and trailed into the park. The crimson path ended near the kitchen, where Christian lay collapsed beside the counter. Courtney was drenched in red, trembling and crying uncontrollably, repeating the same desperate words over and over. "I threw it. I didn't mean to. I was defending myself." At first, officers couldn't tell who the aggressor was. Both were restrained while they tried to piece together what happened. But the truth became clear within minutes. Chris wasn't moving. His skin had gone pale, his breathing shallow, the floor beneath him soaked in blood. Paramedics rushed him to Jackson Memorial Hospital, fighting to keep him alive. But the stab wound had gone too deep. The knife had pierced his chest and severed an artery. At 7:11 p.m., Christian Toby OBM said, pronounced dead. The perfect cup, the Instagram, had ended in a single fatal cut.
Wait. Okay. Get up. Please don't. Please.
Listen. Get him up. Get up right now. Drop him on the floor. I'll help him out. Get up.
Oh, no. No, I can't let this happen. Wait, it wasn't.
What is his name?
Christian Obumseli.
What's his name?
Christian Obumseli. Christian Obumseli. Please.
Listen, sit down. Do me a favor, sit down. Do not move.
Why are you yelling at me?
Do not move.
Why are you yelling at me?
Do not move, sit down.
Okay,
we don't know what's going on. We don't know what happened.
I'm terrified
So
for him.
right now, yeah, don't worry. They're helping him. So just sit down. Don't move, okay?
Oh my God. I'm covered in his blood because I'm trying to save him.
I understand that.
I'm trying to save him.
I understand that.
And if I don't yoke him, then what will I do with
All
my
right.
life? I need him. He's like my other half.
Christian is bloody on the ground and eventually becomes unresponsive.
Make some space for the door.
By the time the sun dipped below the Miami skyline, the news had already spread, first through frantic phone calls, then through flashing headlines. Chris's gone. His friends and family shocked, piecing together fragments of a story that made no sense. In the months that followed, Courtney Clenney began working to reshape the narrative. She vanished from social media, checked herself into a rehabilitation center in Hawaii, and positioned herself not as a killer, but as a victim. To report to lawyers, to anyone who would listen, she insisted she wasn't violent, just broke, that she hadn't acted out of anger, but out of fear, that what happened wasn't murder, self-defense. Behind the scene, Miami detectives were methodically assembling a case, a mosaic of evidence that told a far darker story than the one Courtney had been selling. They gathered footage, recordings, autopsy report, and digital trails that exposed truth of what really happened on April 3rd. Among the findings was the infamous elevator video showing Courtney attacking Chris just weeks before his death. They uncovered audio filled with screaming, racial slurs, and chilling threats. They traced her phone log, confirming she had called her mother before dialing 911. When investigators compared her version of events to the blood patterns inside the apartment, her story began to crumble. The knife hadn't been thrown across the room. Forensic analysis proved the wound was delivered at close range, downward, deliberate, and deep. Experts determined it wasn't a reaction of panic, it was an act of control. By August 2022, prosecutors were ready to move. On August 10th, U.S. Marshals arrived at a rehab center in Lahaina, Hawaii, and arrested Courtney Clenney for second-degree murder. The news exploded across headlines worldwide. OnlyFans model charged in boyfriend stabbing death. For Christian's family, it was the first flicker of justice after months of heart disbelief. Today, Courtney sits in a Miami jail cell waiting trial. Her once blonde hair has darkened, her face bare, her followers long gone. The influencer who once sold perfection now faces the ultimate reckoning, not online, but in. Christian's family continues to fight, determined to honor his memory. They remember him not as a headline, but as a son, a brother, a loyal friend, a man who loved deep, forgave easily, and paid for life. His story stands as a reminder that love should never come with fear, and that silence in the face of violence can be deadly. And for Courtney Clenney, the woman who once built a career on illusion finally shattered. Now, every post, every lie, and every tear will be examined not through filter and light, but through evidence and truth. In the end, one question will decide fate. Was she a terrified woman defending herself, or a manipulative killer who believed beauty her untouched? Because no filter can blur the truth.